I want to talk to somebody in charge.
You are not fooling anybody when you say that what happened was a natural disaster.
You're lying.
It was not an earthquake. It wasn't a typhoon.
Because what's really happening is that you're hiding something out there. And it is going to send us back to the Stone Age. God help us all.
In 1954, we awakened something.
Well, there's nuclear tests in the Pacific. Not tests.
They were trying to kill it.
You have no idea what's coming.
Can you kill it?
The arrogance of man is thinking nature is in our control. And not the other way around.
That's right. This week's movie of the week is the 2014 adaptation of Godzilla. Yes. This is a review done 24 hours after viewing the film. And I'm going to go through some things about Godzilla and what every person needs to know about this film. First of all, get the 1998 movie out of your head. This movie completely blows that out of the water. Yes, and for once, Godzilla is done very faithful. It's action-packed. It's explosive. It's got cool special effects. It's got everything you know and want in a Godzilla movie. It has a decent story. It has some very cool things going on. Much better than the 1998 Roland Emmerich film. You know, because I remember seeing the 1998 Roland Emmerich film when it originally played. Now get this, my school, I was in 7th grade at the time. Yeah, 7th grade. And the film had just been released for the summer. And so at the end of the year, the school usually throws a big party or something like that, like an end-of-school party. And make a long story short, they took us to a mom-and-pop theater. Not mom and pop, but a theater that could house all of us and who wanted to see it. And so we saw it, and not very good. Yeah, as a matter of fact, you go back and look at the reviews on that film, it is seriously tragic. And a lot of people that like the film at the time, you know, they watch it today and they go, what in the world was I thinking? But this film completely blows the 1998 film out of the water. It deals in more faithful subject matter, being that, the nuclear tests, the government, and there's a whole bunch of other things going on with the environment and doing experiments, and it's nature gone wrong and at man's expense. And this film you have a scientist played by Bryan Cranston who starts the whole thing, and he's the one he's kind of the one studying what's going on, because there's all these urges going on and these radioactive charges going on in the earth in Tokyo. He's in Tokyo, Japan. And of course it involves the nuclear power plants and things like that. And his son, played by the first movie flashes back. It tells a story. It tells what happened back in 1999. Yeah, 1999, and has his son, played by C.J. Adams, from The Odd Life of Timothy Green. He was Timothy Green. He plays the young main character in this film, and he witnesses a tragic event that happens in his family. That's all I'm going to say, because the rest is... I'm not going to make this a spoiler review, except for maybe a few things. But then the film fast forwards 15 years later. We now pick up with Aaron Johnson playing the main character. The main character's name is Ford, by the way. And he's just graduated out of the military. Not graduated, but he's on... he's just been released from the military and... discharged and all that. And he gets a call after returning home to his own family that he needs to come back to Japan because his father has been doing some illegal stuff in Tokyo, in this forbidden area. And once he gets there, he bails him out of jail. And then he finds out that his father is not... He first of all thinks his father's crazy. After his mother died, he just thinks that he's gone crazy and AWOL. But then he finally realizes that his father was onto something, and that something is, going on. And as you see from the trailer, Bryan Cranston is explaining to the officials, what you are experiencing is not a tremor, it's not an earthquake, it's not a typhoon, it's something else. And come to find out, they are breeding or tampering with nature, and they create these monsters. And there's a little bit more to this. Obviously, what can I explain to you without giving this away? There is, I'll just say this much. Godzilla is not the only monster, and he's not the villain. So if you can think, what that means. So, and the whole movie is just Aaron Johnson. I don't know his full name. He has a full name, but it's the guy from Kick-Ass. And I had a hard time kind of believing him as this character, because he's really buff and he's unrecognizable as the character from Kick-Ass. And I see him in this, and he's sporting like a Captain America type of body, and then but he has this really high voice, kind of like this, and like he's talking the same way he did in Kick-Ass, and it was like this. It's kind of annoying a little bit, but he had a really good American accent, even though he's British. He's very good. There's a very good story, much better story in here than in the 1998 movie with Matthew Broderick. That movie is just pure silly. I've said that several times over here. I mean, there is some ideas that they take from that film, or I should say, the original source material, the original film Godzilla or Gojira, which is the real Japanese to English translation of the name. So the film is, you will not be disappointed if you go see it. It's very high energy, very well paced movie. Like I said, there is some ideas taken from the 1998 film. Like there's a whole thing of reproducing, but it's not, and trust me, it's not asexually. There's a little bit more going on, but there is some domination portrayed by some of these monsters. And of course, it has CGI mayhem all over the place. I mean, you see major cities get destroyed, like San Francisco, Oakland, California, Tokyo, Japan, and, even Hawaii. You see cities just get flatlined by these monsters just duking it out. And so, what would I rate this movie? I would give it 4 out of 5 stars. Really, it's you won't be disappointed in the movie. There's a few little things I had a little problem with. I had a little problem with Aaron Johnson being the main guy because he fit the part physically, but when he came to performance wise, I think he was a little. He was a little strange to me, because he's doing, it's his natural voice. He doesn't have a deep voice at all. He has a very high voice, and it kind of took me out a little bit, and I did buy, the fact that he was a family man in this movie, that he had, a beautiful wife, he had a wonderful child. And he was just average military guy, army guy, wanting to come home after serving his time, and just to be with his wife and his child. And I did believe that part of him, but I just think him giving a performance as a big action star in something that's seriously action, not silly action, I just think it was a little bit strange to me. But he pulls it off. So again, I give this movie about 4 stars. Where I think it falls short, I think would be that it was in some of the performances a little bit. I think the performances could have been a little bit better, but it's very good. Another thing that really blew me away was the sound design in the movie. I mean the whole the theater. I just saw this in a regular theater. And I didn't see it in the IMAX 3D. I almost did. I was almost considering it, but I saw it in the just the regular 35 millimeter. I did see it in 3D though, and unfortunately, but the 3D was okay, even though it was post conversion. I try to stay away from the post conversion 3D titles that they bring out, and I'll get into another debate about that later on. But the film is really good. It's a really good action flick. You're not going to be disappointed. It's fun. So it's what summer movies should be. It's action packed. There's special effects, and it just blows everything. It just blows everything up. So from me to you, see you later.